Welcome to Stepping Stones. How are all of you? I hope you are well. The multiverse we live in, described philosophically, is Dvaita. To try to understand this in English, it is a space, it is a time that's filled with differences. Even in Stepping Stones, almost on a daily basis, I have a different background. Sometimes I'm in a center, sometimes I'm outside, sometimes I'm in a home. There are differences. Now, some differences you can see, like my background, like people's height, but some differences you can't see. Differences like neurodivergence. How someone thinks, how someone inputs, how someone outputs. Differences like in culture, how someone makes a decision, how someone values language. When we only tune into differences without being deep, those differences start to feel like distances then. I don't like that person. I like that person. And as I'm gathering with a group of high school students, we were thinking about bullying. When I feel so distant from someone that like has become a dislike, it becomes a hatred, then I start to bully. And that's why we have stepping stones. That's why we have this community for us to check our differences so that they don't become distances. Rather, they stay at differences. Backgrounds being different is okay. People being of different height is okay. We accept this. Today is Thoughtful Tuesday, so I'm going to answer a couple of questions. Our first question is coming from Dhruv, who is in our community all the way from Seattle. And I say all the way because I tend to travel on the east coast of America and Canada. Niagara Falls is also on the east coast. How can I have contentment? Most of the time, I seem to notice whenever I find out a cool new gadget or I discovered someone else has something, I tend to plead for it or ask my parents to buy it for me. How can I start to feel satisfied or happy with what I have, and what should I do to change this habit? How many of you can relate to this question? A whole lot. Almost everyone has their hands up. So, offering you a higher way to think about this. Contentment is felt not based on what you want, but based on what you need. If you're trying to find contentment based on what you want, you're never going to be content. Wants don't have an end. I want this, after I want this, I want that, after I want that, I want this. But needs do have an end. There is the concept of enough. In terms of sleep, you can only sleep so much, right? In terms of eating, you can only eat so much. In terms of drinking and breathing, there's enough drinking, enough breathing. So if you start to think about your needs, I feel like 99% of those who are involved with Stepping Stones have their needs met. Is there anyone here who doesn't have the opportunity to sleep enough? Is there anyone here who doesn't have enough access to drinking water? Our needs are met. And when you really feel this, you start to feel content. Now I'm coming to a lower way to think about this. Last week, when I was flying from Buffalo to Washington, D.C., I saw this older man wearing a black t-shirt, and in white font it said, "Things can always be worse." Things can always be worse. And he wasn't wearing this shirt in a negative way, like an apocalyptic way, like humans can become zombies. He was sharing this in a positive way, that things can be worse. I can fall at the airport, or there can be a storm and I can miss my flight. Things can always be worse, right? Now, if you start to reflect on those lines, don't you have a gadget? Don't you have a gadget that someone else doesn't have? You have so many privileges that another doesn't have. When you tune into that, it helps you to be content. By show of hands, how many of you feel you're good at this? You're good at realizing you have more privilege than another person? We keep forgetting, and that's why we have such a question. Next, this question is coming from Krish, who's also from Seattle. What do I do when I find myself negatively comparing myself to others in ways that don't support my personal growth, or judging other people for very trivial and shallow reasons? How many of you sometimes find yourself doing this? Okay. The higher way to think about this, Krish, you are custom designed in the sense that you're unique. This is your role. And so your responsibilities in life are also custom designed. They're unique. Since it's custom designed, that means it's not to be compared. We have 2 children. Each of them is custom designed. They have custom designed bodies and minds. And that's why my wife Sheila and I, we try our best not to compare our children. They're different, but we don't have distances between them. So when you feel that your role and responsibilities are custom designed, they're the best for you, then you compare less. And next is, the lower way to think about this, if you're comparing yourself to someone, try to compare yourself to someone who's better at studying than you are, running than you are, organizing than you are. And instead of feeling negative towards them, that you're not like this, learn from them. In the sports world, there's this common saying that I distinctly remember when I was younger, and it is, I want to be like Mike. Who's Mike? Michael Jordan. I want to be like Michael Jordan. That was a saying. That was a feeling that rare is the person who can be like Michael Jordan. But if I can compare myself to him and start to develop some of those skills like discipline or stamina, then I am comparing myself, but I'm comparing myself in the right way. You still have lots and lots and lots of chances to ask questions, so keep using Padlet and ask whatever you want about whatever you want. It can be about your life, my life, our life, personal, impersonal. I'll keep trying to answer these questions. And everyone else who's joining on Stepping Stones, you share your feelings towards these questions too. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be happiness.